Order, please. Okay, order, please. Order, please.
Distinguished colleagues. Distinguished colleagues.
Resume your seat, please. Distinguished senators, resume your seat, please. Resume your seat, please. Distinguished senators, resume your seat.
Go back to your seat, please.
Senator Maitaki, resume your seat.
Allow him to go. Please go back to your seat.
Senator Maitaki, resume your seat.
Don't off the camera. Please call the matter can be scored in the open. Let him go. It's not today.
Resume your seat, please. Ambassador President Senator Dino O'Brien.
Section 62. Senate standing orders. Senate standing orders 2023 as amended. Section 62. Open to Section 62. Whenever the President of the Senate or the Chairman, as in this case, of the Committee of the Whole, rises, yes, if you are a senator, you know this. Whenever you are sworn in, we give you this. Not for you to go and give it to your children or to keep it in your closet, but for you to read and understand the procedures and the proceedings of the Nigerian Senate. Please, I don't mean to say something that will offend anybody, but I believe this is our own Quran. This is our own Bible. Unless you don't want to be a senator. Whenever the President of the Senate or the Chairman rises during a debate, any senator then speaking Clerk of the Senate, have you noticed that at that entrance there's a lot of noise? No, but there are people there. Sergeant at Arms, look at the people there now. Get their names down and we make sure that they are changed. Because they engage in too much discussion with senators and disturb us here. They are supposed to keep quiet and do their work, while they allow the Senate to have decorum. Whenever the President of the Senate or the Chairman rises during a debate, any senator then speaking or offering to speak shall sit down, and the Senate or the committee shall be silent so that the President of the Senate or the Chairman of the Committee of the Whole may be heard without any interruption. I tactically stood up so that those who are old senators will understand why I'm on my feet. Those who are young in the Senate will not understand. So I'm on my feet. Senator Musa, Sani Musa, your point of order is noted. I did not say rejected, but noted. The reason I say so is that the man standing in front of us could be regarded as a solution to the current insecurity in the country. And we are not here on our own. We are here representing our constituents. And our constituents would like to hear from him whether his appointment will enable them to sleep well, whether their children will be safe in schools, So we are not asking him questions because we don't like him. We're asking him questions because our constituents would have loved to ask him questions at a time like this. So if we come here and we do politics of bow and go, this is not a period we should say bow and go. Even Donald Trump is on our neck. We have not yet asked him what his response will be to Donald Trump, the President of America. He's not just anybody. Chief of Defense Staff, a nominee for a Minister of Defense of a country, and you stand up and say you should take a bow and go, with so many questions on the mouth of Nigerians, with over 200 Nigerian children in the bush, kidnapped and being tortured. His appointment is heralded all over Nigeria with happiness because Nigerians believe he has something to offer. Give the man an opportunity to give Nigerians hope. Mr. Nominee, you answer questions, but you will not give any strategic information on the strategy that you use to achieve your aims of securing the nation. You will not. And anything you want from this Senate or National Assembly to assist you to do the work, we assure you that we are available. Is that the view of the Senate? Yeah. So really, don't take it that we are not happy. We are all happy. We applaud, Mr. President, for your nomination. We have a lot of hope in you based on your track record. But a few questions are begging for answers. The Senate has just set up a committee to find out from the cry of the governor of Kebbi who gave the order for the soldiers who had prior information that kidnappers were coming to the school. Is it St. Mary's School or where? Maga. And they went there and they even took the students to the field and taught the students what they would do when the kidnappers come. But 30 minutes before the kidnappers arrived, somebody gave order for the soldiers to withdraw from the school. And the kidnappers came and operated, and children were packed away. And the governor raised alarm all over. As the Chief of Defense Staff, former, now a nominee for the office of Minister of Defense, I want you to know that this Senate has set up a committee to investigate who gave that order and why they withdrew to give access to kidnappers to take those children unhindered. It's something that people would like to hear from you. And as we speak now, Brigadier General Oba has not been found, whether he's killed or not killed. He made a phone call to disclose his location. Who gave those coordinates for the kidnappers or the terrorists to go and pick him? Those are questions begging for answers. And then somebody like you, as highly placed in security service, you have been everywhere. You have attended all the ranks. You come before the Senate and somebody is saying, take a bow and go. When you take a bow and go, where is Brigadier General Oba? When you take a bow and go, where are the children? How are we going to get the children back? You should make a statement on that. Please, I will not want us to ridicule the nomination of the president. The president knows why he brought him. And he has ideas of why he brought him. Let him also tell Nigerians what he will do in that regard. He doesn't need to disclose the strategy.
Point of order. Point of order.
Point of order, Senate Leader.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I rise pursuant to Order 8 sub 3 of our rules to move for extension of time to enable this Senate seat beyond 3 p.m. So that we'll have enough time to conclude on this confirmation hearing. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the Senate extends its time and sitting beyond 3 o'clock to enable the Senate to conclude its activities of the day. I so second.
Motion moved and seconded. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. General Christopher Musa, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, sir. Distinguished Senator, sir, thank you very much. And it shows the concern that we all have for the security situation in the country and the need for us to be very proactive in ensuring that we address them. So starting with the issues of General Uba, very unfortunate for a brigade commander to be captured and shown the way they did. It's really unfortunate and it's very painful. I want to assure Nigerians that we will not stand by and see terrorists have the capacity to do such. We're going to go after them fully, working together with all the security agencies and all the NDAs that I've said. We're going to investigate fully. So I know the Senate has established a committee to look into that. The armed forces also has a way. And then from the defense, we're going to make sure that we continue with the oversight over their activities. No indolence, no act of cowardice will be entertained. We're going to make sure that we follow them critically to see what they are doing from the commanders down to the troops. They must be professional. I was wondering how the general himself was alone when he's supposed to have his own troops with him. So there are questions that need answering. And I can assure you, sir, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We'll find out what happened, who are those involved, including that one for the children at Maga. It is unfortunate that the troops will be there and then will leave and shortly something happened. It is unacceptable. And I can assure you, sir, we're going to investigate and all those found culpable will face the law accordingly. And we'll make sure that we monitor all the activities of the armed forces and the security agencies, make sure that they remain very, very professional. Any information that comes will be treated adequately and make sure that the troops also take action as quickly as possible. But I want to assure Nigerians that, sir, coming on board, having served 39 years all through my career in the armed forces, we have seen what is going on, we have understood what is going on, and we know what we need. All I'm appealing, sir, is that with your approval, once we come on stream, we're going to come back to you, sir, to show you exactly what we need for us to do better, for us to achieve success. We can win this war, but we must work together. We must get the support. Because, sir, I can tell you, not calling members, there are still a lot of gaps within the armed forces that is also mitigating against them, be able to achieve success fully into what we're doing. And like I said, we need the state governors, we need everyone to be on board for us to be able to achieve that. So my assurance is, from day one, we're going to monitor and review all our activities, all the operations that we're doing. Where we have done wrong, we're going to take measures to address them. Where things need to be done, we're going to, and then we're going to come back again, sir, because there are areas that we need your support. And like Senator Lawan mentioned, the issue of funding. Without proper funding, it's going to be extremely, extremely difficult. But I want to thank the Senate again, sir, for all the support, but to assure Nigerians and the Senate that we are going to spend everything that is required to ensure that there is peace in Nigeria. Our children are going to be secured and safe, but it's going to be that all of us are working together in ensuring that is achieved. Thank you very much, sir.
Now we are happy with your answer. And just for your information, the Senate has already commenced a process. Just even this morning, we are designating kidnapping as a terrorist action. And and then we have also prescribed death sentence without any option of fine. We are going this route because we want to give you the enabling legal framework for people to know that either there's deterrent. If they are not deterred, then let them go ahead and they will face death sentence. So we are prepared to give you all the support. Distinguished Senator Nengi.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this opportunity. General Musa, I am extremely delighted, excited, like all Nigerians, about this appointment. Mr. President, this appointment looks like it. It looks tactical. It looks logical. And it is timely. The question I want to ask the General is, General, what is the problem of the Nigerian Armed Forces with technology. Example, why are we seeing these bandits with super sophisticated guns and our officers are confronting them still with AK-47? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Sitting as chair, my name is Senator Mohammed Ogoshi Onao. I represent Nasarawa South. Mr. Nominee, sir, I want to commend the Commander-in-Chief and the President of Nigeria, Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, for nominating you.
Senator Ali Ndume, after Senator Nawo, you are speaking, so just give 2 minutes before you go. I know you want to use yourself, but just 2 minutes.
Sir, like the Senate President sitting as chair has said, and my other colleagues, to me, your nomination is based on popular demand. And I want to congratulate you for that. You have achieved a lot in your military career, and this is another chance for you to prove yourself. As such, you cannot afford to fail. To ask you what you are going to do to achieve this feat put before you, if confirmed, is like asking somebody eating food to drink water. As such, I know the Senate knows what you need to do. You know what to do. My only concern is that what the Senate President has said, there have been news of soldiers, brave ones, trying to confront the situation as it is, as it confronts them. Order comes from above for them to withdraw, putting the lives of our people in danger, like the Senate President has said. You know what to do. We want to know a little bit of what you want to do. But my major concern is Senator Uzo Kalu mentioned on this floor one day that taxpayers' money is being wasted on training our soldiers. And because of certain appointments, young soldiers who have attained a certain level of career that their knowledge is being needed most are being retired. I didn't appreciate that then until when I saw the retired soldiers that accompanied you. When you say General this, General that, I didn't see anyone with a gray hair. And I feel sad that we are wasting such talents. If confirmed as a minister, what are you going to do to forestall such waste of talent? Thank you very much.
Thank you. General, we are not doubting your fitness, but sit down so that you can write down all the questions that they are going to ask. Just sit down. When you come up, we are not doubting his fitness, but we are only telling you, please give him water to drink so he can clear his throat. Because unfortunately, you came alone today, so you have to answer the question of everybody. All the questions that would have been asked many people, they are going to ask you today. It's a difficult time for us in Nigeria. And that's why we are doing this. Distinguished Senator Arlene Dube, former chairman of Army.
Thank you, Mr. President, and distinguished colleagues. I know General Christopher for a very long time, and he is part of the generals that have been in the theater. The theater means the Northeast, where we all know is the epicenter of Boko Haram until now, that the Northwest has joined and other zones. I worked closely with the retired general, and in fact our relationship has gone beyond official to personal. I just want to add to what distinguished Senator Ahmed Lawan said, and to also urge our colleagues to give this gentleman the optimum support. And this support is in the field of appropriation. And not only that, it is also important not only to appropriate, but to make sure the funds are provided as at when needed. We have been advocating, Mr. Senate President, and this Senate should do that, that the budget of the armed forces and indeed other important security agencies should be on the first line charge, and it should be released to them as at when due. This is not what is happening now. And as the former Senate President said, Hanum, I will repeat it now that you all know, Hanum Banza Bayat Okauta. And it is time for me now, sir, to commend Mr. President for not only appointing General Christopher as the Minister of Defense after retirement as CDS, but also declaring this issue of insecurity as an emergency. And also just day before yesterday or so, the Senate passed a resolution advising Mr. President to rejig the security architecture. That is being done. Now what is remaining is to give the military and other security agencies what they need to walk the talk. Now back to the question. I'm constrained by what you said, that some of these questions should be asked in executive session. But fortunately, what I discussed, or my question to the minister now, is something that I discussed with him. Now that you have the chance to ask, because he told me that generals don't complain. If he had so, which is not what I will discuss, if you give him 6 months, if he doesn't get it done, he will drop the uniform. That time he was in uniform. Now you are a civilian. Now you can complain because you are no longer in uniform. As at the time, which is the tradition of the army, generals don't complain. So my question to you, my big friend, is will you ask for those things from your appointee, that is the CNC, and here you are before the Senate that promised to give you that support. So if you ask that question or you demand for that thing, I want to believe that the Senate will support you to get it. And that will mean that this issue of insecurity will be something that will be a history when we are still senators. Thank you.
Thank you. General, no, you don't need to answer. I hope you are writing it down. Let me invite Senator Wadada to also ask question. Please just restrict yourself to 1 minute. But in the meantime, Senator Wadada, accompanying the Chief of Defense Staff Emeritus and Minister of Defense nominee is Honorable Ajaraton Kulobali, Second Deputy Speaker of ECOWAS, and Honorable Bile Tunkara, the Fourth Deputy Speaker of ECOWAS. They are in the Parliament to observe the screening. And just on behalf of the Senate, I welcome you. And I thank you for coming, and I wish you journey mercies when you are departing. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, sitting as chair. I remain Senator Ahmed Wadada Aliyu, Sarkin Yakin Kefi, Magajin Dangin Lafia, and I represent Nasarawa West Senatorial District of Nasarawa State. I still remain horse rider, yes. Mr. President, sitting as chair, distinguished colleagues, Mr. Nominee, at this point, mine wouldn't be question. It will be commendation, congratulations, and some level of caution to the nominee. Commendation to say that truly by your nomination is a confirmation that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, truly has the eagle eye to have nominated you to be Minister of Defense. And I congratulate you. Having congratulated you, why mine will not be a question, all the questions that I should have asked had been asked. But it's to say to you, based on where you are coming from, the commendations and accolades that you've gotten from my colleagues, is to say to you that I will be requesting the Senate to give you like what had not been done before. You will be approved, but in principle it will be probationary. If within the first 6 months these sensitive questions are not brought to bear in the affirmative, where is Brigadier General who authorized the withdrawal of soldiers 30 minutes before the operation that saw to the kidnapping of the MAGA, 25 children in MAGA, and etc., are not answered, or no progress is seen by the Senate, by extension the country, because the Senate is the country. We represent Nigerians here. If those are not taken care of within the first 6 months, this same Senate that members have applauded you, commended you, and will approve you, the same Senate will call on the President to send you packing, so that any other person that is saddled with the responsibility that you are saddled or will be saddled with, which quote and unquote will be within the sphere of security responsibilities, will sit up when and if such a person is saddled with the responsibility you are saddled with. To this, or with this, once more I congratulate you and I caution you. to have, I don't know if you play polo because you are not a polo player, I would have known. But for you, for an officer retired that has gotten to the level that you had gotten, eyes on the ball. Thank you.
Just one more minute. We take it like this until we get here. Or maybe because there are very few hands here, so I can start from here. Senator.
If you want to hold that back.
Leadership, who in leadership? Huh? Who in leadership? Deputy leader? But please just keep it to 1 minute. Go ahead.
Your Excellency, the Senate President, Senator Ashiru, Deputy Leader of the Senate, and representing the good people of Kwara South, and in general, speaking for the people of North Central States. First and foremost, His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, has done perfectly well by this choice, the choice of former 18th CDS as a new Minister of Defense. Your Excellency, I'm worried for so many reasons. In my state, Kwara South, in particular, we have never had crisis of insecurity before. We don't know how it looks. But now, I'm worried because infringement on our security is an everyday affair, constantly happening. And
elsewhere,
people are exceedingly sad and very insecure to the extent that we have lost more than 30% of our population to other senatorial districts and Lagos in particular. Of recent, we had a visit to Jos under the auspices of Committee on Security. And I was amazed by the feeling of the people. They are really sad. Their situation is exceedingly pathetic. And I have the feeling that the present security arrangement we have might not be able to take care of this insecurity. I want to ask the nominee, what are the new things that you think we can quickly do to be able to assure the people that the insecurity level in North Central State is solvable?
Thank you. That's not your seat. He will only ask questions on his seat. Yes, Senator Kawuden, Senator Fada Onsi, Senator Mosa. Then we'll go to the other side too.
He called me.
But you know Fada should talk first. Don't you know that? He's not your mate.
He's not my mate.
Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, who are you? My name is Senator Adenigba Fadansi, representing the good people of Osun East. Today, I'm very happy that Mr. President showed to the whole world that he's a listening father. Just last week, we highlighted there is a fault in his security architecture, and immediately
changed the narratives, which the whole country now is happy that General Musa, who has done well in his military career, has been appointed as minister. Has been nominated as the Minister of Defense. And you will see that when a retired general is nominated or appointed as a defense minister, there's a language that they speak down. And the whole country now we have the hope that things will turn around by his involvement. He has gone around all the war theaters and he has done well. But my question now, which he has partially answered, I've been asking them, can we really win this war? He said it's winnable. That by the grace of God, we will win. Our own is to cooperate with you, cooperate with the 001. That's our president, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, that he has been doing well for you. It is now your own place to take care of the young ones. That's the downtrodden army. That is the problem. If you encourage them and their packages are okay, they will go headlong to win the war. I'm very sure you will do that. And with the prayer warrior you have at home too, all of us will continue to pray for you. Today, Nigerians should go and learn how to sleep and pray for you that you will succeed. Thank you very much, sir.
Senator Kawu and General, that was the prayer of a father, the distinguished Senator Father Honsi. When you said that the war is winnable, we believe that if God can assist the war to win the war against COVID, that we can win the war against insecurity, and we shall win the war against insecurity. So we don't want to talk about the collaborators, we don't want to talk about the conspiracies, we don't want to talk about the enemies of Nigeria and the enemies of government. We don't want to look at them, we just want to look at winning the war. We must win this war for us to bequeath a better country to future generations. Senator Kawu.
Thank you, Mr. President. My dear distinguished and honorable colleagues, I am Suleiman Abrahaman Kawu Smaila, representing Kano South Senatorial District. Mr. President, my dear distinguished colleagues, Mr. Nominee, I don't want to repeat myself on commending Mr. President of appointing a competent hand to manage this very important ministry in this current situation, and his capacity to handle the situation, because he demonstrated it, and we can testify when he was in the office, we are in constant touch with him. When we start experiencing this kind of challenges in part of Kano State in my senatorial district, we are always liaising with him, and he do his own best to make sure that we contain the challenges. And by the grace of God now, I can say Kano South Senatorial District little bit is safe, inshallah. Mr. President, I want nominee to give a highlight, because he just left office as a Chief of Defense Staff when U.S. Congress and of course the President of the United States of America, President Trump, perceiving or accusing Nigeria that there is a genocide or religious intolerance, or they perceive that the government or the security agencies are doing or are protecting some people against some sect in this country. Of course, even today, they are holding a roundtable discussion on the Nigerian situation of genocide or religious intolerance. And we are very lucky when he was a chief of defense staff. He is a Christian, very good friend to us, very open, sincere, and transparent personality. His remark today in the parliament can justify or can tell the world and can revive the image of Nigeria, what Nigeria are doing, what our security agencies are doing, what Mr. President is doing, and his own team, and of course our parliament are doing to keep or to make Nigeria one, irrespective of our diversity. His remark means a lot in this very critical situation, Mr. President. I so.
Thank you. Distinguished Senator Abdullahi Yahya. Distinguished Senator Ojus Okalo.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Oji Ozokalo. I represent Abia North of Abia Senatorial District. Mr. President and my colleagues, I think first I want to thank President Ahmed Bola Tinubu for appointing somebody I will consider, in my opinion, personal opinion, as a very competent man. Myself and Chairman Ahmed Lawan, Committee on Defense, will work with him. We've been working with him since 10th Senate as CDS. And there is nothing good like if we are appointing people, you appoint competent people. I don't even know questions senators are asking him because this man is competent. He was our CDS. He's a very competent general. He's a full 4-star general. So if there's anything you give in Nigerian army, he has it. But my advice, I don't want to ask him question. My own is advice. Don't believe on only gun. You must go back to intelligence gathering. Intelligence gathering is the key to whatever you are going to do. Because we have no intelligence. When people do not have intelligence gathering, they carry weapons and go, the enemy is in front. There's no Reiki. I don't see soldiers and Navy, Air Force going for Reiki. Both air Reiki or ground Reiki. They don't do that. And when you go there, they have laid ambush. We will lose our soldiers. As a Minister of Defense, how will you address the issue? I want you, the issue of wiping out causes. I want you to advise Mr. President. You wipe out a cause totally. Like if you were cause 38, if you are appointed CDS, every other person in cause 38 will retire. We have used money to train you people. And it's Nigerian people's money. So how you are going to address this issue as a defense minister? In terms of security, how are you going to control the service chiefs to be one? There's no love among the service chiefs. How are you going to coordinate them to make sure, because the essence of a defense minister is to coordinate all the service chiefs and all the agencies related to it. We have almost 42 security-related agencies in Nigeria. How are you going to come out as Minister of Defense to make sure that everybody speak with one voice and you go back to President Tinubu to advise him brilliantly? Because we are not soldiers, you have been given the highest honor by appointing you Minister of Defense. So you must pay a very good attention to the service chiefs, to everybody. It's your duty. Service chiefs are not independent of you. Service chiefs are supposed to report to you. And that is what it should be. And you make a decision and go back to the President of Nigeria to advise him. It's not a multiple thing. You must follow that line. This is what is done all over the world. And you must also brief the President on the things that are realistic, not just things you like. Like my colleague Kabo was asking you a question. Just one moment. What he's trying to ask you, is it genocide in Nigeria? Did anybody, I know people are killing people. If they go to Zamfara State and kill people, the people they will kill are Muslims. Come to Abia State and kill people, the people they will kill are Christians. They go to Plateau, Benue, and kill people. They go to Meduguri and kill. They will kill Muslim. So the question is, do you subscribe that Nigeria, we must work as one? Do you believe that people are being killed, not based on their religion, but they are based on terrorists killing people? Thank you, Mr. President. Let me stop so far. Thank you very much.
Even if you want to continue, you can come to your house. Senator Joe Ibrahim. Thank you very much, Mr. Senate President, and my very distinguished colleagues of the 10th Senate. My name is Jimo Folorunso Ibrahim, representing the good people of Ondo South from Ondo State. Let me say this one very clearly. I must sincerely join my colleagues to commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for nominating you as the defense minister. But let me say clearly, Mr. Senate President, all over the world, military only account for 20% of counter-terrorism. There is nothing you can do that you can score more than 20% of counter-terrorism insurgency. Therefore, yes, we need the budget, but Mr. President will not give you the entire budget. Because 80% of success factor, Mr. Senate President, is still hanging somewhere beyond the military. At the Senate here, under the Senator Okoyemi Bamidele, as the Senate President generously approved, continued discussion of the security summits in the 6th geographical zone in Nigeria is still ongoing. That action alone accounts for 10% success of counter-terrorism in Nigeria. People are involved, legitimacy of the people are involved. General Musa, you know, with due respect to you, aggression will not solve the problem. There are many other issues. Relationship, interpersonal relationship. The Senate President and the President of Nigeria are liberalists. They believe in cooperation and collaboration to distill an order, to create peace in the firmament of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The army cannot be an exclusion of cooperation and collaboration in solving insurgency and security. Regrettably, I won't be able to take much of the generosity of the honor given to me by the Senate President of time. I will write a personal memo to you on how to go about the 80% other factor, which the President must be aware of. That the President will be generous with the army and the military. He wants a greater efficiency. He has been calling for meetings virtually every other day. This Senator, Akpabio, had moved and spent money to hold security summit in the 6 geographical zones in Nigeria. They want peace in this country. But regrettably, the totality of the military of Nigeria, including of Donald Trump, cannot solve beyond 20% of counter-terrorism. You know this is the practice in war front. Me and you know we are experts in this field. There is nowhere in the world where military has gone beyond 20% success factor. So, Mr. Senate President, I want to say, with your generosity and the upcoming Senate debate on National Security Summit, we must identify the remaining 80% success factor and forward load it to the Honorable Minister to be cleared and implement. Lastly, the civil military operational manual is my area of advice to you. The military must go back and review the civil operational manual, which engage legitimacy, engage interpersonal relationship, engage talking to each other. What does it take us? Even if we call the religious leader come and have a general session and dinner with us, both Muslim and Christians, the moment that we know their leaders are talking, those people will drop their arms. You cannot solve this problem with aggression, and I want to wish you the best of luck as the Senate President move to clear you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And the Chairman of Finance, a lot of things are said here that you can't achieve much except the appropriation does the right. So you say something and then the appropriation chairman will say a word. Chairman of Finance, distinguished Senator, ranking Senator Sani Musa.
Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East.
Saraki Niger.
I am representing a senatorial district have been so inflicted with this issue of insecurity. But first, I will also join my colleagues in congratulating Mr. President at this most very difficult time in the history of this country to be able to make this decisive decision in appointing the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff as Minister of Defense. More has to be done in that cycle. And I believe that with the coming of General Christopher Musa, there will be a lot of changes. And I have been interacting with you, especially in the area of funding. There is no country that will run its security architecture without funding. We will not allow our Minister of Defense or Minister of Defense going hand in cap for funds. And that is the reason why I think Mr. President chose you as the competent person to be there, because you have been navigating very well with the Ministry of Finance. That being said, I want to also commend Mr. President for making this choice. We have a lot of young officers that have been retired. Most of these young officers that are retired are not even prepared for their retirement. And at a time that a country is facing so much of security challenges, most of them are not businessmen, most of them are not politicians, are gentlemen, are military officers. They have been trained. They have gone to many countries, trained in warfare and everything. There is no better time that we need them like now. As Minister of Defense, can you propose to Mr. President the need to have a reserve army? Have we reached a stage that we can now start thinking of bringing back a unit like the National Guards or veterans, a corps of veterans, so that when we are faced with things like this, it's not just abruptly employing new recruits, but making use of those that have been trained already. There's also second issue of motivation. It's not only about allowances into pockets. There are so many other motivating factors that you can create to enhance the agility of the armed forces. And then Nigerian youths too. A lot of people today, seeing what is happening on the social media, especially when you see a soldier going on social media, making any sort of presentation, it discourages a lot of youths in wanting to go into the service. Mr. President was suggesting about NYSC. One of the core factors of establishing this scheme is also to be able to get agile youths to have interest in how to join armed forces to defend the territorial integrity of this country. As Minister of Defense, will you try as much as possible to see that these three issues I bring up, you come up with something that will be able to at least give the Nigerian Armed Forces the leverage to make use of this, the youths, the veterans, and possibly creating a kind of National Guard. Thank you, Mr. President.
Now, you notice your questions are very relevant to today's situation and the future. So try and smile. Distinguished Senator Olamileko.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleague. Mr. President sitting as chair, let me join my colleague and the entire Nigerians in thanking Mr. President for bringing back General Musa Christopher. Mr. President, I'm one of the very few Nigerians that was disturbed when I learned that General Musa Christopher was retiring. But in a way, because of his good deed while he was in office, I know that definitely along the line, the president will give him another assignment. I never believed or thought he would be nominated as a minister. But immediately, his name was announced as the new Minister of Defense designate. It comes with a lot of applause and good commendation from Nigerians for one singular reason, because Nigeria feels it's a round peg in a round hole. And as such, a welcome development. Sir, I want to say this. When you came on board in 2023, May 2029, when the president assumed office, and you swing into action, there is a lot of reduction in all these incidents that we have, kidnapping, banditry, and everything. That in 2024, the report is there and it's clear that we have the lowest number of kidnapping and banditry in the country. Not until recently again, when you are about exiting office, that we have this sporadic rise in banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism across board. Nigeria would like to know what brings about this sudden rise again in banditry, kidnapping, and this terrorism act across the divide. Today, you are the nominee of Mr. President as the incoming Minister of Defense. Nigeria will equally wants to know what are the strategy, even though without full disclosure, that you will put in place to bring back the good old days while serving as the Chief of Defense Staff of this country. I so submit, Mr. President.
Thank you. This is Senator Oshimole.
God bless the President. Sir, I joined in commending the nominee, and I was very inspired by your opening statement. But the last word you used, I was a bit confused. When you said, we can win this war, I thought that is begging the question. What we expect from you is assurance. We will win this war. We shall win this war. Not can. Can is about potential. We have talked too much about potentials. Under your leadership, Nigeria will win this war. Under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we shall win this war. That's the kind of assurance we want. That's it. There have been a couple of observations that people have raised. When young men and women are kidnapped, state governors and other stakeholders are panicking, people are responding differently. For example, we have seen reports of armed terrorists coming out of the bush and negotiating with a subnational government. And people are like, how can we negotiate? And on the floor of this Senate, many distinguished senators remind us that people know where these terrorists are. They know their roots. And in any case, if they didn't know them, how do they negotiate with them? Because once the armed forces is demystified, there is no state. It is the power of the state. It possesses the monopoly to use instruments of violence to liquidate anyone who threatens the existence of the state. So for many people, they can't understand why the state or anybody purporting to represent the state will negotiate with bandits. They come to the city, and then after negotiations, they go back. There are other stories that one cannot verify about people wearing uniforms or people they have killed and so on and so forth. Like has been said, I don't think any one of us here has any iota of doubt. If anything, I have been congratulating many people who come to me that yes, for several reasons, your appointment is a bold statement, even to enemies of Nigeria outside Nigeria, who sought to polarize our country along religious lines. Your appointment has shut their mouth down. So, in all respect, I'm pleased, I'm happy, my confidence is reinforced. But sir, I need you to change your statement that we shall win. Number two, whether or not it makes sense for the state or sub-nationals to negotiate with terrorists, carrying weapons into the city, and then going back, as we see, these are reported from time to time, and we have seen governors saying after successful negotiations, they have achieved something. We just need some assurance from you. I think that is all. Your competence is not in doubt. The president's capacity to identify competent hands has never been in doubt. I ask somebody here, have we ever condemned any? I think you are yet another addition to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's determination to put not round peg, square peg in a square hole. That is what you represent. But I don't need some assurance to tell my children they don't have to worry. We have a new sheriff in town. Thank you very much, sir.
I think you spoke the minds of all those whose hands are up. Because which side? Okay, say something.
No, thank you, Mr. President.
You know, there is another screening of some ambassadors going on. That's why a lot of senators are moving there to go and contribute. So,
thank you.
If everybody here is just to ask questions,
little time.
Can you write down the questions you cannot ask? Can you write?
No, you have asked me to speak. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Victor Ume, OFR. I represent
if you cannot
Anambra
ask questions, can you write it down?
I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, because a lot of time has been taken in putting questions, I just want to, not to be repetitive with what others have said. When General Musa was withdrawn as Chief of Defense Staff, I was very apprehensive. I was very sad. But I didn't know that Mr. President was reserving you for this great role, to be Minister for Defense. So now that you have come back, my hope is renewed that somebody who will do the work with experience has come back. You were general in the army. You are still a general. A general doesn't retire. Once you come out, you are still a general. With this litany of generals you have come here with, all of them have rich experiences. I just want to tell you that we expect so much from you. This country is passing through a grave situation. You will notice that my brother, Senator Sani Musa, touched on the declining enrollment in the armed forces. Before, our youths were struggling to join the armed forces.
No,
but today it's no longer like that. I want to ask.
No. Yeah, up till now, sometimes over 10,000 will apply, and they only have 300 chances.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that the number is still up.
The quotas are not taken across the country as allocated. I'm telling you,
I'm just telling you that we still have. Let's ask
Mr. President, Mr. President.
If this is that means we have exhausted ourselves.
No, I'm coming. I flew to Enugu with an officer who went to work on recruitment, and I was told that people from that region are not. I'm sure it's the fact that you know.
Please,
they are not joining. Because they say that when they join, they are sent to the northeast, where they die.
Senator Omen, restrict yourself to the issues, to the subject matter. Screening of the nominee, not your discussion with another. So I'm telling you right now that even today, even if it's immigration, they oversubscribe. If the army oversubscribe, how can we be talking like this?
You don't run short of people that will help you do this work. I know you are going to be Minister for Defense, no longer Chief of Defense Staff. But all of us here, whenever we see an officer killed in the field, it pains us as much as it pains you. The problem is that there is need to protect our officers. What happens when we see people killed in the battlefield are just like the match, football match. Whenever Nigeria loses an international match, everybody is low. So I want to say that I'm happy that you are back, and I pray that God will help you. And without saboteurs in the armed forces, there are saboteurs in the armed forces that have been responsible for the things we are seeing that are very unsavory. Look deep and see how not everybody carrying arm is a patriotic military officer. So that those who are against this country are weeded out, and those who are strong enough in patriotism are pushed forward. This is what I have to tell you. May God be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. In reality, we are through with the questions. Is there anybody who is opposed to the nominee, being cleared? Senator Plank.
Different, sir.
Unless it is different.
Yes, very different, sir.
If he talks, I talk. I don't want. We have had enough commendations.
Okay, sir. Okay, President of the Senate, my colleagues, I subscribe to all the praises made to him. I just wanted him to make an observation that the uniqueness of his appointment, he should be encouraged to find a space and pray, because the type of ovation he's receiving with this appointment is unprecedented. I represent Pangshin, Mangu, Kanki, and Kanam, and it's a domain he knows very well. With his appointment yesterday, drums were rolling. A clergy, both Islam and Muslims in my state, are happy with his appointment. Expectations on you are very, very high. Sir, with my stay in this Senate for the past two years, I've never seen where the Senates are on the same line on appointment like your own. From the DSP to the Senate President to the Senate President former, and all of us, independent of constituency, independent of religion, and our elders, on you, needs you to go on a prayer. Sir, the last question I wanted to tell you about my own place is, there is a tiny defeat. Even when there is peace, there is a tiny defeat when people
can no longer go to their farmland. Yet nobody is occupying the farm. But for anybody who goes, does not come back home. And people who cannot go back to their homes, what effort? I wish you can't answer that. But can you look at that sector? Because when people cannot go to their farm, it's like a defeat. But if people can get back to their farms, it's like it is over. I pray that you observe that. Sir, we're highly pleased. And we'll join you in prayers. Because your success is our success. What the president has done, we feel he has touched us at the right place. So may God Almighty grant you success. Thank you.
Tumba Benga Daniels, distinguished senator.
Thank you, our president. I'm Senator Benga Daniel, representing Ogo East, and I'm the chairman of the Senate Committee for the Navy. I won't spend more than 1 minute, just 3 quick questions. The first one is on the definition of terrorism and banditry. I'm aware that the armed forces have been armed strong in recent times because they have not been able to deploy fully, because there are arguments about whether we are dealing with terrorism or banditry. And I'm sure if we all agree that it's just a thin line between the two and allow the armed forces to deal with terrorism, we'll get better results. My second question is very simple as well. Now that we are debating on the propriety of having community-based police, state police, etc., I want to know the position of the incoming minister, what he thinks about community policing and state police. And finally, it's just a short advice that the country having waited for so long, I will advise him to set for himself a 100-day action plan so that in 100 days, you can come back here and say the battle has been won. Once again, congratulations in advance.
Lalong.
Thank you, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, Simon Lalong, representing the good people of Plateau South. Mr. President, while others were saying they work with General Musa, or they know him, for me, I live with General Musa before retirement and out of retirement. It's interesting, Mr. President, that is from Jos that he was met. He lives in Jos, and he was. Don't forget about being born in Sokoto. That he was met the Chief of Defense Staff. When he retired as Chief of Defense Staff, he was in Jos. Very lucky at a prayer. 2 days after, he was recalled from Jos as a Minister of Defense. So I know him as a fine army officer, and I know him as a fine civilian. As a fine civilian, because he's a great golfer, and we play a lot of golf with him. When you see him in the armed forces, it's wonderful. But as a civilian on the golf course, he looks as a civilian. That will take me to one portion, because shortly before he left the army, I followed keenly when he gave an order, and I think that order was in Jos. That order was one of the orders that I believe was very, very firm and was leading to commitment. Because usually in the army, they will tell you that the army is not police. If they are carrying operation, they are restricted. But for the first time in my life, I will say, he said, look, engage them. When you engage them, they engage you, fire back. He said, where you see this, go back, go on them. That was the only thing that we wanted to hear in Nigeria. Unfortunately, after that, he was retired. And shortly after the retirement, by the glory of God, today he's back again as Chief of Defense Staff. So only 2 questions. My General, are you really going to keep to that? Those words you made were very, very paramount and important to Nigerians because everybody was expecting now, not a soldier engaging a criminal and saying, no, you are restricted. Fire as they fire. Number two is this issue of recruitment. We've spoken about engaging people. For me, when you engage, you will have to train. When you train, it will take a long time. So this issue of reserve is very, very important. I have mingled with a lot of retired army officers. I have seen a lot of training and retraining. I am sure if a deliberate policy is introduced immediately, it will also bring them back, even if it's not from the army. We're already talking about overhauling the Army Act, which is here, the armed forces. Let it be part of it, so that what was not done before, we can still do it. We can still do it, not always reinventing the wheel. We can do it. Let something be done. If it is done in developed countries, let us also practice it. Today we are talking of the special seats for women. What about the special seats for the reserves? It can be incorporated into this, and that will be under your ministry. So for me, like I said, nobody knows him like me. And wonderful officer, Nigeria will never regret that. And I thank Mr. President for this nomination. Thank you for the privilege, Mr. President.
Senator Lalong.
Yes, sir.
This was really a privilege, considering the mood of the Senate. Senator Ikpea.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Ikpea, representing the good people of Edo Central Senatorial District. At this junction, I want to join my colleagues to thank Mr. President for this noble cause, because we all know what we are going through. It's not happening only in the north. In my place in Ewato, Obiaja, Ewuhimi, and the rest, we no longer go to farms because of this banditry and kidnapping. I want to thank General Musa, retired. I know, we all know your strength. We all know who you are. We believe in you and we trust you. And you know you will not fail us. Most especially, I want to thank Mr. President, because the Renew Hope agenda of Nigeria is what we have to keep us going. Mr. President, I kick off Renew Hope, and to sustain that Renew Hope is to ensure that we deal with the real issues that concern Nigerians. We know, all of us know what it was before, and we know where we are today with the Renew Hope. The Renew Hope agenda at least lift Nigeria up. We know what we are. We know the cost of things before. And the only way we can sustain this is when we have security. Then secondly, I want to beg that you also look at the disciplines in the military. Because we pass through the road every day. We know what happens along the road every day. When there's no discipline in the society, and mostly the army, which we believe that the strength of Nigerians, which believe that the hope of Nigerians, you can see that if you go around, if possible, set up your task force, set up a task force and check the military checkpoints. You will discover that every point the tanker driver pass, they collect a diesel from them. Not only them, including other military, other paramilitary, they collect diesel from them. It's an insult to our nation. It's an insult to our name. It's an insult to Nigerians. They do these things, and so I want you to also look at the indiscipline. If discipline is not looked at, it also affects Nigerians. These are my few points. I want to thank you for this opportunity. God bless you.
Senator Ekong Samson.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Ekong Samson. I represent the home front, Akwa Ibom South. Let me commend Mr. President for sending the nominee to us. Like football, he has brought us together. One can say that beyond football, one issue that has brought Nigerians together is the nomination of Musa as a Minister of Defense in this country. I represent a littoral state, a maritime territory, and my question, predictably, centers on what steps the nominee will take to strengthen security in our maritime areas, at our littoral areas, what steps that he will take. And then, the nominee has spoken very well about the need for policy and collaboration. That is what I wanted to hear. Because without our addressing the issue of collaboration, then we will remain in the woods. So I thank him for touching the very key nerve of his appointment, which is the need for collaboration. I would only ask from the sidelines, what will be your attitude to negotiation with those criminals? Your attitude to payments of ransom? And principally, what steps can we take to make the armed forces more attractive? Thank you.
The civil senator is I said 1 minute, I didn't say 1 more minute.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, my name is Osita Izunaso. I represent Imo West. Mr. Nominee, I'm going to be very brief. When you came here 2 years ago, you gave us proper lecture, if I may say, on kinetic and non-kinetic approach of solving this problem. Now that you have been, if confirmed, you'll be saddled with the responsibility of manning the defense ministry as a minister. Do you think that the non-kinetic approach of granting amnesty to repentant dissidents is a way forward if made a minister, if you are confirmed as a minister? Secondly, we were told, we don't know whether it is true, that some people who have voluntarily surrendered to work for the federal forces are being reabsorbed into the intelligence gathering of our system. Is it correct or not? Thank you, Mr. Nominee.
Senator Anthony Ani.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Professor Anthony Ani. I speak on behalf of Ebonyi South. Thank you for the privilege. In my place, they say he who laughs last, laughs longest. Now, security, we all know, is of much concern.
Any question for the nominee?
I'm coming, sir. Just let me finish the statement. I put addendum.
You are going into a lecture?
No, not lecture this time. So it's of very much concern. Now, the basic question I want to ask, there are two of them. Now, would you, General Musa, I hope you would know the difference between your office now as a minister and your previous office as a defense, chief of defense staff.
If he doesn't know, you can go and teach him.
Secondly, I want to advise that his job should be such that he works in very close synergy with all these.
Are you the president? Are you the person who appointed him? The person who appointed him will advise him.
In the sense that if there is no harmony between them, there is bound to be misfortunes along the way.
Point of order.
So,
Order 52A. A senator at all time must confine his observation to the subject under discussion and may not introduce matter irrelevant thereto.
Noted.
Professor Annie,
Noted.
you are asked
Noted.
to ask questions, not to give lecture. As whether he knows the difference between his office, the new office going to occupy his former office. No, not lecture. Ask him question. And so submit.
The question is, that brings me
Point of order is sustained. Senator Annie, that is why it's not good to speak for the sake of speaking. So your time is gone. Senator Yaradua.
Thank you, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. I am Abdulaziz Musa Radua, representing Katsina Central.
Use your campaign voice.
I'm Abdulaziz Musa Radua, representing the good people of Katsina Central. Thank you, Mr. President, and my distinguished colleagues. I want to join my colleagues in thanking Mr. President for this nomination. And mine is not to waste time. It's just to thank my colleagues for all they have said and the encomiums, they have showered on the nominee, whom everybody knows has done well as the Chief of Defense Staff. I want to lend my voice to call still on the need to empower the armed forces, especially now that we have this insecurity that has escalated in the nation. You have come just at the right time, and I believe by the grace of God, you will do very well based on your past performances. So I want to pray that God in His infinite mercy should guide you and protect you and give you the wisdom and strength to ensure the defense and security of this nation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. I was looking at the chief whip to know whether he has 1 more minute. Okay, so I want to thank all my colleagues because I think we've been very fair. The screening of ambassadors is ongoing, so some of you have been going there and coming back, and I thank you for your patience and all your contributions. The nominee, you see why I told you to sit down? You can run off with some of the questions you can remember. The ones you cannot remember, write them down and take them to your office.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, distinguished senators. Sir, from all I've gathered, it shows that everybody is following up with the issue, everybody is fed up, and everybody wants things to be done differently. And those are the things we're going to do to make sure that we have peace. Like Senator Shomole mentioned, we will win, working together as a team. Let me start from bottom up, sir. Starting with Senator Yaradua, thank you very much for the commendation, and to assure you you're fully committed. We're going to work together as a team, together from the ministry, with the National Assembly, with the members of the armed forces and other security agencies. All NDAs have roles to play for us to achieve success. Nobody can do it alone. I think that's the most important thing. The difference between the CDS office and the minister's office interlinked, supporting each other, giving them all the necessary support for them to be able to carry out their task. Whatever it is we're looking from the outside as they're operating, we're also providing all the necessary, meeting all the NGOs and everybody, making sure it works. Working with them closely, that is taken. There is no way that we can achieve anything without working as a team. Even when I was a CDS, I tried to harmonize all the services to remove all the rancor we used to have before. And now we'll make that very, very important. I think one area that we're going to look at constitutionally is to look at the powers given to the service chiefs, the CDS, ministry. There are a lot of lacunas, there are a lot of gaps that I think is affecting our operations. And I think that is very critical. We must be able to get the service chiefs with their responsibility, the CDS responsibility, and then the ministry. Observing what is being done, following up so that we can make sure that the work, the synergy is seamless. There seem to be still some areas that is meditating against our work. I think those are issues we're going to come. I think what we'll do again, sir, is taking over. I'm going to sit down with all stakeholders. That's what we did in Maiduguri that gave us the successes we did. We must make everybody understand the roles they have to play. And in doing that, once we do that and everybody's on board, it makes it a lot easier. So to say in Maiduguri, we had meetings with motor park, markets, commercial drivers, everybody. And when they came on board, that's when we had success. And that's why we need to really replicate, going down to make sure that everybody has a responsibility. It is not when you see something, you keep quiet saying it is not your responsibility. No. The armed forces, security forces are not going to be everywhere. So it's important that we also work together. So Senator Annie will assure you that we're going to work closely with the service chiefs. There won't be any issues together, and including other security agencies. On the issue of the reabsorbment of the surrendees, that is not happening. We have a system that we monitor who and who we're recruiting into service. We work together with the intelligence system, the military intelligence, the DSS and all. They still go back to check all those ones we're recruiting based on the data they're bringing. But sir, I think I must mention this, which I've done severally. There are countries, if we look at first world countries, why are they succeeding? They've been able to put some basic things in place. Something as simple as a database for all citizens. So I think that's one area that we need to be, so that we can also assist the security forces, and even developmentally, we need to know the number of people in particular areas so that we can know whether we have markets or schools or hospitals in those areas. I think it's important that we must have a comprehensive database, and not the database that immigration will be having, quarantine will be having, police is having something. No, we need a unified one that will be able to carry, so that when you commit a crime, it's easier to track you, it's easier to trace. That aspect that people can easily commit one crime in Sokoto and run to Maiduguri and go and stay, or run to Kano or somewhere and nobody knows them, makes it a lot easier for them. There are countries where you commit one offense, even your bank account is closed. Your ATM cannot work. Now with ICT, we can do a lot. So I think it's important at this stage for us to start looking at how we can link up all those data together to have a unified one that will assist us in doing this. The kinetic and non-kinetic, like is mentioned rightly, the kinetic effort is about 25-30%. It cannot win totally. It will give you the leverage. But sir, are we addressing those aspects that got us to where we are? Issues of good governance, poverty, illiteracy, all these aspects contribute to it. And that's why we said that the states need to do a lot. Local governments need to work. Sir, if our local governments are up and doing, the local government chairman will be dealing with the crime within their localities. And it will ease up these aspects. We need to have the police. We need to have the correctional system, and especially our legal system. So if the legal system is not proactive, and most of these crimes, especially terrorism, so in Saudi Arabia and Middle East countries, anything on terrorism, nobody jokes with it. Even your family members will disown you. Because they've made it in such a way that nobody is set free once you are charged on aspects of terrorism. So I think we need to also make it very, very punitive. The kidnapping issues, the way it's been treated in courts, you get somebody and cases are prolonged, doesn't make it well. So even the security forces, when you travel and you do all the efforts in making arrests and nothing comes out of it. So those are the aspects I think that we need to do. The non-kinetic is very important, sir. Because if we're able to understand that when there's justice, fairness, and equity, and they have a sense of belonging, you will see crime and criminality will go down. Why are we having the resurgence of criminality? We know towards the end of every year, there is always this upsurge. People want to make extra money in whatever it is they're doing. The Sahel is there. The world terrorism agent is increasing in its attacks all over the world. So it's not only in Nigeria, because we are not isolated. And that's why we're having this pressure. What we need to do, sir, is working together as a team in addressing, making sure that we address them within Nigeria and do not give them any freeway, any aspects that they need to do. We must stop ransom payments. And in doing that, sir, even when ransoms are being paid, because people want to do that, we can track the money is being paid and where does the money come from. There is a lot you can do using the banking system, that we can do these things and track those things backwards. The use of technology is very important. And like I said, sir, if we're able to have a database and every Nigerian has a number linked to everything you have electronic, we can monitor anything. I think that's areas that we need to look at and be able to address. Again, the issue of the maritime environment, very, very challenging environment that is there, again, linking with the border, especially Akwa Ibom to Cameroon and those other areas. We know there's a lot increase. Normally when the pressure is on in the south, you go back into issues of sea robbery and piracy and these issues on ground. Again, issues of cultism and all these things. Now, we make sure that our operations within those areas are enhanced using the the Operation Delta Safe, expanding their reach. Initially, because those areas were a bit quiet, they didn't extend them. But now what we have done even before I left is we've extended operations within those areas to be able to address those maritime environments, to make sure that we stop these acts. Because there's issues of kidnapping coming from those areas. Collaboration, sir, is critical. No one individual can do this together. We must work. Sir, it says no to negotiation. There is no negotiation with any criminal. And I think that should be made very, very clear. We are working together. We're going to work together with the NSA's office to ensure that states don't adopt such things, because those things compromise security. And to tell those that nobody, if you negotiate with them, they will never abide by it. It's just a moment. When they do that, they want to buy time to buy more arms, and then they were going to come. And we have seen it repeatedly. There are even localities that have done that. They still come after them. So, sir, it's a total ban on that, total ban on illegal mining, and all those other aspects that are bringing these things together. So I think we must be able to do that. Indiscipline in the military, sir, Senator Ipaya, we can assure you that we're going to address them totally. We're going to have independent patrol teams that will go and make sure that we do. And what we want to do again is to withdraw possibly all military men out of checkpoints and let the police and civil defense handle those aspects so that we can go into the bushes and take out these criminals wherever it is they are. It's important. Farming, for us, as yardstick for us to see is farmers must be able to go back to their farms. That is to show that we're achieving success. Because as little as that is very important, because food security is big. If there is hunger, a hungry man is an angry man. And so if people can't eat, you can imagine what will happen. So for us, I think protecting the farm, working with the civil defense that have the agro farmers, agro rangers is very important for us to continue to work together. For Senator Lalong, thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate you for the commendation, and we assure you that we're going to be very firm in all we are doing. Everywhere we make sure that recruitments are going to be thorough. And again, it brings me back to a database. So it makes it easier. If somebody comes for recruitment and has a number that you can check and see everything it's telling you, it makes it a lot easier. We've seen countries having this for years, so I think it's high time we're able to do that. A lot of people now, because there is war, even the military, you find some people don't want to go to where there's conflict. They want to go to soft areas. It's normal for humans. But we always want to tell that anybody being recruited should know that you are joining the armed forces because you are going to fight. There's war going on and you will go and fight. So going in to say that you want to avoid, and that's why some people don't want to come in, because they feel if they come in, they say they will take them to Maiduguri and all this. Basically, that is what you are meant to do. But again, we know some states, we have observed some states, some regions don't really come in well for reasons, but I think we are doing some sensitization program to try and bring them into it so that the strength can be enhanced. But like Mr. President, you mentioned, sir, as we speak, sometimes every time we are doing recruitment, we have over 70,000 that are applying to join. So we still have enough. But maybe some states do not have that number. But again, we have a way of balancing, because we want every Nigerian to be part of it, every Nigerian to take responsibility of what is going on ground. So we're following all those aspects, and we don't want them to go down. But on expectations, so I can tell you, I'm also feeling the heat, because when I see the expectations, when my name was mentioned, I know that I cannot afford to fail myself, fail my nation, fail my family. Whatever that we need to do, we will put in the very best, and we know God on our side, we're going to succeed. So it's important, sir, that we must continue to work together. And I assure Nigerians, I really appreciate the responses to the Senate, National Assembly as a whole, the entire Nigerians. I went to social media, I was shocked when I saw the response. And it shows that people are really committed in showing that Nigeria is peaceful. So when people go around saying Nigerians, we don't love ourselves, I say, no, they don't really know who Nigerians are. And it also brings me to the issue that we have on the issue of whether genocide or no genocide. We're all victims. Everybody is being killed. Everybody is dying. So that's why it's important that we must work together. And it is when we allow them have gaps that they penetrate. They don't care who they kill. These are a bunch of evil people that are on drugs. For whatever reason, we must stop the killings. Nigerians must not be killed, or anyone in Nigeria must not be killed for whatever reason. So, sir, our own target is to face them squarely and ensure that we stop the killing. Farmers should go, our children should be safe in their schools, and Nigeria is back to how it used to be before. I think that's very, very important. On the issue of whether 100 days or 6 months, I think it's important that we must make sure that within a very limited time, people should see that things are changing. We're able to achieve that, and we can still do that, and we will do that. All we need is the support. So I want to seek indulgence, sir, that once I take over after 3 weeks, we'll be able to come back, maybe have a closed session. Because there are a lot of things that we need to bring to the fore that will assist the members of armed forces and other security agencies. We cannot say it out in the open. There are a lot of gaps that we need to close in. And I think that's very important if we're able to sit down. I'll sit down with all of them, we'll discuss, and then we'll come back again and sit down and show you clearly the roadmap. What is it that is doing? What do we need? What kind of support do we need for us to be able to achieve? I think that's very, very important, sir. On issue of saboteurs, yes, sir. Normally we recruit from the society. So there will always be the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we have a system of identifying such people, and immediately we do that, we take action because we prosecute. The armed forces have standby court martials all over the country. Anywhere you commit their offense and their punishments for it. And I think that is what we're going to do. On sustaining the strength, yes, we're doing that. The system we're adopting is good, and we're going to do that. Engagement of retired personnel is a good idea. We're going to discuss with the services and see. On retirement, you still have 3 years into the reserve. So we can still re-engage those ones that are retired into reserve, those ones that are still fit and capable. Most of us here that are here have spent over 30 years in service, or almost 40 years, because if you look at those that went to NDA, spent 5 years and then 30-something years. There are some that were at NMS, spent 5 years, 6 years NMS, 5 years NDA, and 30-something years. So they put in a longer years, a lot of experience. And I think my advice to the nation is that, beside even the military, even in other aspects of life, these are individuals that monies have been spent on them, time has been spent, they have a lot of experience, they are very brilliant, committed in ensuring that Nigeria develops. So we can also look at other aspects of putting them in some of these boards that we have. Let us utilize them. A lot of them finish, go back and just sit down and not doing anything. And I think that's not good, having considered the amount of money that had been spent and the experiences they have. I think we should look at the aspect of also bringing them into all some of these boards, and they will be able to bring out some inputs into bringing these things into the system. Declaring, sorry, sir, let me get this. I said issue on negotiation, no negotiation. Nobody's allowed to negotiate. And for the troops, sir, every personnel that is deployed knows why he's deployed. And the 3 things where he's told is this: you are to engage any criminal or any bandit that is armed and is about to kill you. You don't have to wait. Somebody is aiming to shoot at you and you are waiting for order from who? Once you are deployed, you automatically have that responsibility. Or your colleague is to be shot and you know there is no other way of stopping it other if you don't kill the person. Or the community or property you are protecting. These are statutory and they all know it. So if any member of the armed forces is deployed anywhere and tells you that he's waiting for order, he's lying. He's only a coward. There is nothing like he's waiting for any order. The order is automatic once he's deployed because he's briefed before he's deployed. And I think that is very important that we're able to bring that distance. Like I said, the increase in terrorism and banditry, sir, end of the year, the times, over time, people have neglected so many things, and these are the things these are the results. So we must go back to those basics that will do that, working together with the communities, with the local governments, with the state governments, and the federal. Together, if we do that, we're going to look at and we're going to get good results. Whether National Guard or Reserve, then NYC using them, the issue of social media, sir. That's one big area we're having. Is affecting the professionalism of the armed forces. And I think areas that we need to look at how we're going to address those things very well is very, very important. Funding issues, like it was mentioned, no country can have everything. So America's budget last year was about $800-something billion. And they produce equipment. We don't produce this equipment. For everything we are buying, we buy using hard currency. A medium-range precision missile for a drone, sir, is $100,000. That is about 150 million naira. So once you fire one, 150 million has gone. Whether you hit target or you don't hit target. A ship, a medium-range ship will take up to probably 33,000 liters of fuel, 10 tankers. In 5-6 hours, fuel is finished. So you can imagine that defense is expensive. And that's why it's important for us to see that we can fund. And we can do government to government. Some of these things, we can get them directly. So I think, sir, those are issues that I think we need to look at. We said 20% non-kinetic. We'll do The intelligence, yes, intelligence is critical, and that's why we need everybody to be on board, because when you see something and you report, action is taken, and we're able to get good results. As a whole, I think we want to assure Nigerians again, and the Senate especially, that's how we're fully committed. Coming back on stream from all the experience we have, working together with my team, we are going to make sure that we make a difference. And I can show you within the shortest possible time, sir, Nigerians will see that change. The trust they have in us will never let them down. And we'll count on the House. Thank you very much, sir.
Let me thank the nominee, General Christopher Musa CFR. I don't know the rest, whether is it which PSC Daga, because no, PSC Daga, am I right? PSC Daga, yes. I am GCON Daga. Let me say that today's exercise has been a very serious one. And I want to thank the distinguished senators. There is a meeting of North Central going on. There is also a meeting of Northeast going on. There is also a meeting of Southwest going on. There is also a meeting of the committee headed by Senator Bello on foreign affairs, screening the presidential nominees for ambassadorial appointments. These were things that were prefixed, General, before you came. But in spite of how crowded today was, we felt there was need to take you so you can go and join your colleagues to begin to map out the right policies to keep Nigeria safer. And you have observed that there is a lot of expectation of all Nigerians across the board, including Mr. President, who nominated you, because of your personnel and your track record. And I've not seen any nominee in the Nigerian Senate spend so many hours answering questions from senators since 1999. I think you are the first. So you have set the record. I have some senators here who insist that when they take the floor to speak, I should not stop them. That after all, in the United States, some senators speak for 24 hours. So in your own case, I decided to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to ask you a question, because we are all concerned about the security of the nation. The good part of it, but he answered your question. He answered, he mentioned you specifically. He said, Senator Ani, and he answered the question. You didn't finish everything you wanted to say, but at least you said a few things, and we picked those few things. So, Senator Ani, if you have any other thing, please put it in writing, give him as he's leaving. He will address them. So, I want to thank all my colleagues for their contributions. To assure you also that there is what we call verbatim reporting. The moment this microphone is pressed, everything you say, even when you sneeze, is recorded. So we have everything on record, including those who contributed and left, and those who came back to contribute, including every single thing you've said. In fact, let me even tell you, we are even recording the things you are thinking in your mind now. Because that is how digital we are. So we are up to date in our offices. We'll review everything you have said here today and what you intend to do. But let me cap it up by mentioning that you said there is a constitutional lacuna. This is for the Senate, that the responsibilities of each office within the security architecture of the country must be looked into again. That's what you said, that there will be no ambiguity. And in order to ensure that there is no single office that acts as an impediment to success, we noted that very, very, very seriously. You have an opportunity to amplify that when we handle the National Security Summit. So we'll be requesting a small paper from you on what the National Assembly should do in order to bridge the gap and ensure that those lacunas are constitutionally addressed through the constitutional amendment that we are presently undertaking. So, and yeah, I know the acts also. I'm sure that's to let you know that we noticed that we're listening to you very keenly. And that, of course, also answered the question as to who gave the order for soldiers to withdraw before the kidnappers entered the school. It's a function of whose responsibility was it to give order to those soldiers. Because of the various formations, you have too many, you have too many areas. Then you also mentioned something about a database. The need for us to have a data where once your name is put into the data, everything about you comes out. Your age, your date of birth, your experience, and everything. So it will be easy for us to know. You will even have up to even your habits, whether you're a golfer, whether you're a footballer, whether you're a smoker, everything should come out. And then that will enable you to know whether such a person is fit for the responsibility you want to give the person. Your health status should also will also be reflected in that database. Then we want to urge you, as soon as you take over, visit the defense industries. We would like a situation whereby we don't import everything, including bullets. Nigeria should at least be able to make, if we cannot make intercontinental ballistic missiles. And we have noted the aspect of the fact that once you fire one single rocket or so, you are burnt 150 million. So by the time you go into salvos and firing well over 20, 30, 50, you are burning billions, and we may not have all those monies. So you are working under difficult circumstances because of paucity of funds. But we'll do our best to ensure that we support you. Senator Lalong, the meeting of North Central is outside, it's not here. So Senator Odende can follow you and you go there so that you can continue. Let the Senate finish what we are doing. And then we also notice what you said about the judiciary, that we have the prolonged trials of suspects, that there will be need for the Senate, for the National Assembly to look at how we can shorten the period of trials. And then, of course, one thing that is most impressive is the fact that you are against negotiation with terrorists. This Senate is against negotiation with terrorists. And we are even against the idea of paying ransom to terrorists because they use the same money to go and buy more arms and then wait a while and come back again. It has never worked. Even when I was a state governor, I never negotiated with terrorists. I made my state so hot that each time we arrested a kidnapper, he would say, please, sir, forgive me, I did not know it was part of your state. When they said there was a job, I know how angry you are with kidnapping. That was how bad it was. Late Arase, former IG, was once one of the commissioners of police in my state when I was a governor. He can testify to this. So we can make Nigeria so hot that anybody that crosses in from the Sahel states, maybe Mali, Niger, anywhere, when the person is arrested, the person will be pleading with you. Say, Minister of Defense, please forgive me. I don't know that that part was part of Nigeria because of the policies we have put in place. We also need the cooperation of all Nigerians. Finally, I want to thank you once again for that non-negotiation policy. Please also advise the Commander-in-Chief because most of the people you are negotiating with are laden with drugs. They are soaked with drugs. They don't go for operation with their normal eyes. So they don't go to any negotiation with normal eyes. They don't intend to keep to whatever agreement. They only want to buy time to come back and strike. And then the kinetic and non-kinetic approach or approaches that you said, you've noticed that even when you release them to the society, it does not take 2 weeks before they are rearrested for the same crime. So it's a need for us to review the policy of kinetic and non-kinetic and all that. I'm not against anything that will bring peace, but I'm also against something that will continue to encourage people to go eat money from government after they've been arrested. You waste a lot of money to arrest them. Sometimes you waste lives to even get one or two criminals. But when you bring them, you don't say you are trying to radicalize them. Then you go and put them inside a camp in Niger State. And then after that, you take them to Gombe and give them uniform and then monthly allowances. Then when you release them, it doesn't take 3 weeks. You arrest them again in Biu in Borno State, or you arrest them in Kwara or somewhere. The same person that you spend so much money on. And it's always a thing, it's something that demoralizes the society, where somebody who has killed over 20, 30 people is said to have been radicalized. And then the community sees the person coming. A typical Nigerian community will never accept such a person. And they'll be running away from that person. And he will get depressed and go back into the same crime. So let's face it. Let's face it. A kidnapper is a kidnapper. Once we are arrested, this Senate is of the opinion that we should face the capital punishment so that the society can be kept safe. Many countries have done that. In Nigeria, it's a sign of weakness for us to arrest kidnappers and then and keep them and feed them at government expense and release them and give them uniform and give them allowances and say that we have changed them. So as a Minister of Defense, please advise the Commander-in-Chief and make sure you are not afraid of advice. They said the soldiers don't talk. You are no longer in uniform. You are now part of us. You'll be wearing agbada. So advise the Commander-in-Chief, and then he's a man who has said that he doesn't mind if he makes mistake and you point it out, he will correct himself because he's not an angel, he's not God. So some people are a bit on the sycophantic side. So long as we continue to play politics with security, we'll continue to get the result we are getting. So bringing you in is that you have to be firm, you have to be resolute, and you have to remain committed as ever. And you've always been very patriotic. Please put the interests of the Nigerian citizens uppermost in your mind. And the rest will be added onto you. We will pray for you. We wish you well. Is it the view of the Senate that this nominee be allowed to take a bow and leave? Those in support say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. May now take a bow. Chief Whip, please call Senator Plank and the rest of them to return to their seat. Senator Oshimole, all of them.
Distinguished Senator Plank, return to your seat. Huh?
at meeting general.
Oh, he's also there.
All right. The confirmation screening has just been concluded, and the ministerial nominee, General Christopher Wabin Musa, is here with us. So, sir, congratulations as we await the decision of the Senate on the confirmation hearing.
Thank you very much, yes.
Now, it's been like 4 or 5 hours of marathon screening.
Yeah.
Tell us your feelings and what comments you have for Nigerians at this point in time.
Firstly, let me just thank Mr. President for this opportunity for me to be presented today. Also appreciate the National Assembly for the good job they are doing, members of the armed forces.